So most Crown Jewel shows feel like just one-off crowd pleasers that only carry significance for one night. However, this Crown Jewel seems a bit different. This PLE actually has 7 matches, man, and most of these matches I'm actually entertained and intrigued by the idea of them happening, and they actually do carry some significance that will probably stretch even beyond the night of Crown Jewel. And as of the making of this video, after the end of the Raw that just happened, it has been announced that Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso will be teaming up to fight Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga at Crown Jewel, and this will likely main event, so that's pretty cool as well. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, I'm looking forward to this Crown Jewel. It's got a stacked card. It's got a bunch of more talent on it. They finally stopped the 5-match format, so we can finally showcase all kinds of different talent and storylines on a PLE stage, man. So let's get into my predictions for Crown Jewel. All right, y'all. So first off, let's talk about the Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan match for the WWE Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Obviously, the build-up and the lead into this feud and this entire match has been awful. It's been pointless. Nothing's really gone on to really get us excited for this match. That's why I'm starting off with this in the predictions. However, I do think that just like with any of the Nia Jax title defenses so far, the biggest story of this match is Tiffany Stratton's involvement with the Money in the Bank briefcase. I do believe that Nia Jax, if there's no cashing in or anything, I think Nia Jax should and will win the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. However, I think there will be some involvement going on, right? And I do believe that Tiffany Stratton, the best course of option, in my opinion, is for Tiffany Stratton to cash in her Money in the Bank. However, she just makes, because that's her character. She's kind of like a dumb blonde gimmick kind of thing. I think if she cashes in and wins the match and pins Nia Jax, only to find out that she cashed in for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship instead of the Women's title or the World title, I think that would be hilarious, and it would set up her feud with Nia Jax going forward, and maybe she can take the belt off Nia Jax for real at Survivor Series or at Royal Rumble or even at Saturday Night Main Event. You get what I mean? Either way, if Tiffany walks out with the World title, that would be amazing because Liv Morgan's title reign is awful, in my personal opinion, of course. However, if Liv Morgan walks out as champ but loses the match, I'm good with that. No matter what happens, the winners here should be either Tiffany Stratton or Nia Jax. There's no way Liv Morgan should walk out of here the winner. Nia Jax is supposed to be the annihilator. Stop booking her like a wimp and let her win the match, or let Tiffany catch in and do that plan that I talked about. I think it will be entertaining. And next is the United States Championship triple threat match between Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, and LA Knight. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this match. These are 3 of actually my favorite wrestlers on SmackDown. LA Knight is absolutely awesome. I love what Carmelo Hayes and Andrade were doing with their little feud in the Game 7. I don't think the ending of Game 7 was booked the way I wanted it to. I wanted a definitive winner, but I'll take the triple threat at the end of the day. I think this match is going to be good, and I do think that LA Knight will retain. I think that Carmelo Hayes is not going to be the one that gets pinned, though. I could see him getting knocked away last second by Andrade, and LA Knight comes in and just goes ahead and gets the pin off of BFT on Andrade. But either way, I doubt Carmelo gets pinned, man. They got to make him, keeping him looking a little bit strong, so that way when he eventually does probably take the U.S. title away from LA Knight, it feels earned, it feels deserved, and it's going to be a pretty good moment, right? The weird thing about this match is that LA Knight feels like a little bit of the third fiddle here, right? Because Carmelo and Andrade have been at each other's throats for like a couple months at this point, putting on good matches on SmackDown over and over and over again. So it's like LA Knight kind of feels like launched into this feud and forced in a little bit just because he's in the mid-card. He has to defend the title at a PLE, things of that nature, but we'll see what happens. I'm excited for the in-ring work of this match. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do. A lot of trash talk too should be happening during the matches, so this should be entertaining. And next is Big Bronson Reed versus Seth freaking Rollins, man. This is actually an interesting one because this might be one of the more unpredictable matches on the entire card, because at the end of the day, I mean, if Seth Rollins wins this, and I feel like the feud just kind of ends, but if Bronson Reed wins this, it like elevates him, and it also gives a reason for Seth Rollins to run it back in a rematch and maybe a no holds barred or an Extreme Rules or a last man standing, any of that type of stuff, right? So I do think that it would be better for Bronson Reed to win this match. Honestly, I think the match is probably going to end in a DQ. That's the way I see it. Unless they add a stipulation to it, or something else changes along the lines of that, I do think that Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed is going to end up being a match that ends in a DQ. I think it's going to be physical. I think they're going to fight like right out the gate in the match. It's going to be blows being thrown. I do think tsunamis will be hit. I think a couple stomps might get involved. They'll probably brawl outside the ring, and maybe when weapons get involved or they keep fighting beyond the extent of the ref can handle, that's probably when the match will be called a DQ, or if someone uses a weapon or something like that, right? But this should be an absolute brawl. It's Rollins' return to the ring, so this should be pretty fun to see him out there. And Bronson Reed has been an absolute beast in the ring and in his backstage segments and in his whole gimmick of being this big monster, right? He's being booked very well. So hopefully they don't slow down his momentum, and hopefully this match ends up being good, but I do think this will end in a no disqualification. And next is this fatal four-way with the women's tag teams, including Damage Control, the Metaphor with Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, Bianca and Jade, and also Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Now, this is a pretty stacked match. I'm not sure why this even is on the card. I actually thought it was going to end up on an NXT show or something, but this being on the card is pretty cool. It's pretty obvious Bianca and Jade are most likely going to retain here, but I think the in-ring work is going to be very entertaining. You have Damage Control in there. They're pretty good. Lash Legend can do some pretty cool power moves. I think her interacting with Piper Niven and Jade Cargill is actually going to be some pretty cool stuff going on there. So overall, this should be a quick, entertaining match. I doubt it goes for longer than 10 to 15 minutes max, but this should be entertaining, and it's cool to see the women's tag team division and the women's division getting a little bit more shine in a match that I'm kind of interested in, right? I think it's going to be entertaining, and at least, you're doing something with the women's division on a PLE that actually may be good. So we'll see what happens with this, but I think Bianca and Jade retain. And next is Kevin Owens versus the Viper Randy Orton, man. I do think that this match is not going to end in a DQ. I think that Randy Orton is actually going to lose this match, though, by way of Kevin Owens using like a dirty move or a disqualifiable move that maybe the ref doesn't see. Like he may reach under the ring after the ref takes a bump, grab out a crowbar or a chair or a stick or something and beat Randy up, hit him in his legs or hit him in his back or something and stun Randy and then hit a finisher and then pin Randy. You get what I'm saying? I don't think Kevin Owens wins clean, and I think that's the point. I think Owens will probably, beat Randy up to the point where maybe like Randy's getting written off of TV for a month or so, and then that sets up Randy eventually returning and setting up a feud with Cody maybe, or, continuing the feud with KO. But I think KO wins this match to set up Kevin Owens eventually going up to go fight Cody Rhodes for the WWE title at Survivor Series or at another PLE in the very near future. It just doesn't make any sense for Randy to win. Obviously, Kevin Owens is an undercard jobber, so it would make sense for Randy Orton to beat the crap out of this dude. But in the storyline that they're currently doing, Kevin Owens should win this match, and he should elevate to go face Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. I think it's going to be brutal, and I do think Randy Orton is going to get beat down either after this match or near the end of this match to set up Kevin Owens winning in a faulty way. And now we have the Men's Crown Jewel Championship match between Gunther and Cody Rhodes. Mr. Libations himself. I respect you. I love you. I'm the North Star of the wrestling industry with my wheat, hey, drink it neat, hey. But yeah, anyways, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, right? The promos and build-up for this feud, I think, have been absolutely atrocious, dog. At the end of the day, it's been filled with boring promos, mid-meaningless segments, and the promos that they've been cutting, just to add on to this, have been full of lies at the end of the day, right? Gunther saying the big boom period is on the back of you, Cody. No, it's not. We're not in a big boom period. Raw and SmackDown used to get way more views than it does now, but anyways, we're not going to get into any of that. Let's talk about the match, and I think if this is a clean match with no interference, Cody Rhodes should and probably will win the Crown Jewel Championship. However, I think interference is going to get involved. And like I predicted earlier with Kevin Owens, beating Randy Orton to a pulp and winning in a faulty way, or just straight up knocking Randy Orton out with a bunch of weapons and beating him down, with the prize fighter gimmick thing. I think Kevin Owens gets involved with this match. Maybe the ref takes a bump, maybe Cody gets distracted, or maybe KO just absolutely beats the crap out of Cody Rhodes and it ends in a disqualification. I doubt it ends in a disqualification, but he beats up Cody Rhodes, the ref doesn't see it, and then Gunther goes in for the sleeper hold or some power bombs, or just goes in for the pin if Cody's just absolutely knocked out from the attack that Kevin Owens does on him. But I think Kevin Owens gets involved and costs Cody the match, setting up Gunther to win the Men's Crown Jewel Championship, man. Either of these guys are not going to be booked in a way where they lose clean. It's just not going to happen. Gunther is supposed to be this unbeatable champion, and then Cody is supposed to be this Superman babyface champion. So neither of them are going to probably lose clean. If it does happen as a clean match, obviously Cody wins most likely, right? But I think interference gets involved. KO costs Cody the championship, and Gunther ends up walking out as your Crown Jewel champion. And lastly, and this is likely going to be the main event, Roman Reigns, Jimmy, and Jay, the OG bloodline versus the new bloodline of Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga. I am looking forward to this match, and this match is definitely going to carry stakes. Now, at the time I'm recording this, I just finished watching Raw a little bit ago, and Sami Zayn was involved in this episode of Raw talking to Jay, and then he ended up talking to Solo outside of his car later in the night while Jimmy was trying to talk to Sami. All that stuff that's happening with the Bloodline. It's getting interesting. It's ramping up. And the Bloodline OGs, OG Bloodline, I'm sure Sammy will be involved in that, helping them out, versus the new Bloodline at Survivor Series War Games is a match that we're all expecting and that we're all highly anticipating. However, at Crown Jewel, I do think that Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga will end up getting the win. Or maybe this match ends in a DQ by Tonga Loa getting involved and maybe costing, the OG Bloodline the match, or just getting involved and, causing it to be a DQ. And I think all of this will set up Sami Zayn showing up at Crown Jewel, getting a massive pop. We know he's super over in Saudi Arabia. He's got ties there. And on top of that, it's OG face Sami Zayn inside of the Bloodline, bro. Or face now. He's a heel originally, but he's a face now, coming back to this new face Bloodline, bro. It's going to be awesome. The build-up for this match, I thought, has really ramped up and been getting better over the last couple weeks, specifically the last month, and I think that going forward, it's going to get even better. And I have seen some of the spoilers that have happened for, this Friday's episode of SmackDown, so if you don't want to hear about that, click away. It's a taped show, but there will be a segment with Jay, Jimmy, and Roman. I mean, I guess they just announced that on Raw, so it's not really a spoiler, but, there has been moments of people who are showing footage from what happened, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty awesome segment to lead into Crown Jewel with the 3v3, so it'll be awesome to see the OG Bloodline coming back together. I can't wait to see Jimmy and Jay hyping up the crowd, doing all this I'm expecting in their entrances. So it's going to be tons of fun, man, and it's going to further develop the storyline of the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline at Survivor Series War Games. So I'm looking forward to it. Look forward to seeing Sami Zayn probably rejoin the OG Bloodline and prove his worth. He was talking to Jay on Raw. He's like, oh, well, I can't believe you're joining back the Bloodline after all this stuff. And, Jay told him, you're not blood. I think Sammy comes back and helps them out this weekend, and that's how he gets reignited into the Bloodline and reunited with everybody else, and it's going to set up an awesome next 4 weeks or a month leading up to Survivor Series, in my opinion. But yes, Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga, I think, walk out either as the winners, or they win by DQ, or something like that happens. Some shenanigans. But if it goes clean and no one gets involved, I think the Bloodline, Solo's Bloodline, wins. If not, I think it's a DQ. Sammy comes out and helps the OG Bloodline, joining them back, and then it ends up in a 4v4 little brawl situation or whatnot. But either way, it's going to be epic. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm hyped for it. But overall, that's going to wrap it up for my predictions of this year's Crown Jewel event. Let me know what you're predicting to happen on this PLE in the comment section below. What you think will happen, what you think won't happen, who's winning, who's not, who's getting those Crown Jewel championships, what's happening with the Bloodline match at the end, etc. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. And thank you so much for 20K subscribers. I think I said it in yesterday's video, but, just want to thank you guys again for all the support and everything like that. It's been awesome. It's been real, and I respect you. I love you, and I thank you. So everyone have a great day, and as always, hope you guys have a phenomenal day. Don't have a good day, have a great day. Peace out.